"Sir, this woman was here yesterday." The words sliced through the air like lightning, and in that single moment, the Millionaire CEO, Daniel Hart, froze. His chest tightened, his knees buckled, and his breath caught in his throat. It wasn't possible. It couldn't be. Because his wife, Anna, the love of his life, the woman who had been his anchor through storm and sunshine, was dead. He had buried her with his own hands 2 years ago. Yet now, in the crowded lobby of his company, those words hit him like a ghost had just walked back into his world. If you're watching this right now, stay with me. This story will shake your heart, and I promise, you'll feel every beat of it. And at the end, if it touched you, even just a little, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Because stories like these remind us all that miracles do happen, and sometimes love returns when you least expect it. Daniel was a man most envied. Billionaire at 40, CEO of one of the fastest-growing tech empires, respected by every business journal. But behind the sharp suits and headlines was a hollow man, living like a shadow. When Anna died suddenly in a car crash, the light had gone out of his world. He had kept working, but without joy. His mansion felt like a tomb, and every laugh from the world outside reminded him of what he had lost. So when his secretary blurted out those words, Daniel felt his soul tremble. "What did you just say?" he demanded, his voice low, almost breaking. The young woman hesitated, looking between him and the elevator. "Sir, this woman, she came yesterday, asking for you. She looked exactly like Mrs. Hart." For a long moment, Daniel couldn't move. Could grief drive a man insane? Could sorrow paint illusions before his eyes? He rushed toward the security desk, his heart racing, and demanded the surveillance footage from yesterday. The guards pulled it up. His eyes locked on the screen. And there she was. Anna. Same brown hair, same gentle smile, the way she tucked a strand behind her ear when nervous. She stood in the lobby, dressed simply, clutching a worn leather bag, asking if Daniel Hart was in. The staff had told her he was away in a meeting. She had nodded politely, said she would return. Daniel's hand shook as he replayed the footage again and again. It wasn't a ghost. Ghosts didn't cast shadows. This was real. He staggered back into his office, fighting tears. Could it be? Could Anna be alive? That night, he couldn't sleep. Memories flooded him, her laughter echoing in the kitchen, her soft humming when she watered plants, her hand squeezing his whenever he was worried. He remembered the crash too, the phone call, the twisted wreck, the funeral. Yet a tiny voice whispered inside him, what if they were wrong? What if she survived and never came back? The next day, Daniel arrived earlier than usual, waiting in the lobby like a nervous boy. Every tick of the clock drilled into his chest. Hours passed. No one came. Then, just as hope began to fade, the elevator doors opened, and there she was. Anna, she looked thinner, her face tired, her eyes holding a sadness he had never seen before. But it was her. Alive. Breathing. Standing before him. Daniel's legs moved before his mind could catch up, and he rushed to her. Anna. His voice cracked as the name escaped him. But she stepped back, fear in her eyes. I'm sorry, sir. You must be mistaken. Her voice trembled. Daniel froze again, this time from pain. Anna, it's me. Daniel. Your husband. But she shook her head quickly, tears brimming in her eyes. No. I don't know you. And she turned, almost running out of the building. He chased after her into the street, his bodyguards trailing behind, but she disappeared into the crowd. That night, Daniel sat alone in his study, staring at the ceiling, unable to breathe. What was going on? Why would she deny him? The next week became a desperate search. Daniel hired private investigators, combed through hospitals, shelters, even international databases. Finally, a lead came. A woman matching Anna's description was volunteering at a small orphanage on the outskirts of town. Daniel drove there himself. When he entered the orphanage, his heart broke. Children with worn clothes and tired eyes clung to the woman they called Miss Anna. She laughed softly, teaching them letters, feeding them soup. Daniel stood in the doorway, tears flooding his vision. She wasn't his wife anymore, she was someone else's hope. When their eyes met again, she froze, spoon in hand. The children noticed and giggled, asking if the rich man was her friend. She excused herself and walked outside, her body shaking. "Why are you doing this?" Daniel asked gently. "Why did you leave me? Why did you pretend to be dead?" She closed her eyes, tears rolling down. "Daniel. I didn't want to. The crash. I survived, but I lost everything. I lost my memory. For months, I didn't even know my name. A kind couple took me in. When I remembered, when it all came back, I was terrified. I thought if I returned, you'd have moved on. You'd hate me for disappearing." Daniel's throat burned as he reached for her hand. "Hate you?